Hi, my loves. Happy welcome to this reading. My name is Pia. I am an astrologer and manifestation coach. And in today's video, we are going to talk about your first impression on people. So how do they perceive you? How do strangers perceive you when they meet you for the first time? What kind of things are like standing out and how they are feeling when you are actually leaving? So yeah, I'm very curious about this, and you can actually choose between three piles today. And I have three cards to choose from. So the first card that you can pick is the Muse of Emotions. This is the picture. Just, take a few seconds and see if you feel drawn to this. If you do, then this is your pile. Then we have the second pile is going to be the Muse of Voices. And the third pile is going to be the Muse of Inspiration. Take your time. I'm also going to blend in a photo where I'm putting all the cards next to each other so you have a better, outlook on them. Yeah, you can also pause the reading, of course, if you need some more time. And I'm going to start with the first pile. Before I'm going into the first pile, I also wanted to mention that I'm actually doing one-on-one readings. So you can either choose between 30-minute or 60-minute readings. Obviously, the 60-minute readings are more in depth. Usually, I'm also including into the 60-minute readings some astrology, your astrology chart. We're going more into your essence, and then I also do a tarot reading for you depending on what the current situation is in your life, what you actually want to know about. And the 30-minute option is then a little bit like less time, makes it a little bit less in depth. And then we have the third option, which is a voice note from me to a question that you want to have an answer to. This is just something that is really on your mind or on your heart for a while, where you need some guidance on. And this is going to be a 50-minute voice note from me, where I'm also pulling cards and asking, your guides to give me some answers for you. All of that you can find in the description box below. And now let's get into the reading. So I'm very excited. The first pile, as I said, is going to be the Muse of Emotions. I'm also going to pull some astrology, cards in order to let me know, what are the signs, the energies of that kind of pile. That's what I'm going to do in the beginning. So let's see, pile one. The vibe that I'm getting immediately when I am feeling into this energy is that, you have a lot of like different kind of energies in your chart. I feel like you're a very multifaceted being. You are not somebody who is, very one-sided, meaning that you have to balance a lot of like different energies within your personality. And I am like a perfect example for that because I have, for example, my sun is directly opposite my moon. So I'm born on a full moon, meaning that two of the most prominent, energies within my chart are actually opposite of each other, which means that I need to balance two sides within me, which, can sometimes be a little bit, let's say challenging, but it makes you also more interesting. It makes you like somebody who are people are not like necessarily so easily understanding what you are about. I feel like you are like a little bit of a mystery to people because you have a lot of different, aspects of you, of yourself that you are balancing within you, and that creates a kind of, that creates just a kind of mystery around you. So that's the first vibe that I'm getting. So I feel like you are a mystery to people sometimes, especially if they, see you for the first time. It's like hard for them to put a finger on a certain vibe that they get from you. Let's see if there's something else here. Okay, I got Virgo. So maybe you have some Virgo placements in your chart. Doesn't have to be. Yeah, maybe you have some Virgo placements. Could be like Moon, Sun, rising, or also like Venus sign, Venus in Virgo. But what I'm really getting with this here is that you are. It's almost like people are feeling like you are a little bit. It's a vibe of perfection. There's definitely this vibe of, oh, she looks really put together. She really looks like, yeah, put together, like somebody who dresses maybe very nicely and thinks a lot about how they dress. So it could be that people see you as somebody who takes a lot of pride in maybe expressing yourself through dressing. You seem like very put together. It seems like you are putting a lot of thought um, into your first impression. And there's almost this vibe of, oh, she almost looks perfect. There's something about you that seems really put together, and people are just like admiring that about you. That like for example, you might wear like a certain t-shirt in a certain color, and then also your purse matches that kind of color, or you have certain earrings that are standing out in a way, and it just gives harmonious vibes. That's what I want to say. It gives harmonious vibes. So very, very nice. Okay, let me get into the tarot, actually. Okay, so I pulled the Fool for you. That's the first card. Um, what I'm getting with this is what's really standing out when you are in a room when people see you for the first time is your lightheartedness. There is a sense of first I was going into more of the physical impression, like as I said, like you seem very put together, but the kind of energy that you are radiating in a room is like a very light energy. Do you see how she's like on the verge, and here's like this light, and there's a lot of light energy here, and I feel like the Fool is a card that is talking about taking risks, new beginnings, and new fresh starts. And there's a sense of lightness to a fresh start. If you're thinking about new moons, for example, there's always like this freshness, this purity, there's this sense of, yeah, there's this sense of newness and a fresh piece of paper. Um, and that's what I'm getting here. There's a fresh start. Something feels very light. Something feels like almost um, gives hope as well. So if obviously this is not what people would say about you, but that's what people feel about you. So I feel like when you are in a room, people feel like light. You have a lightness around you, a freshness around you that feels like a new moon, like a new beginning. Um, and maybe they also feel like that you are open to taking risks, that you have like a very playful energy as well. Because the Fool is also a very playful card, because it just like, it doesn't have anything to lose. It just like goes for what it wants. And even though there are risks on the path, it knows that they are worth to take them. So that's the kind of energy that I'm getting here. So there's a freshness, a lightness around you when it comes to your energy. And I feel like maybe people feel um, like also more courageous in your presence. Yeah, how do people feel actually immediately after they were encountering you. Well, the Wheel of Fortune, that's a very beautiful card. The Wheel of Fortune usually talks about, divine guidance. It talks about um, something is changing, and it's almost like, the universe has put that change into action in order to bring you something very good. And I feel like that's what the vibe is as well. When people are seeing you, they or experiencing you, they almost feel like you are a blessing on their path, or there's something it's almost like a gift kind of energy. There's something about you that kind of stays, that is a little bit like, oh, that was a nice, I feel like, oh, that was a nice encounter, and they will remember you in a way. They will remember you. There's something about you that just stays with them. And it's almost as if you were like a spark in their day, or there was, what I'm thinking right now is maybe they were like, they had a bad day, they had a bad morning, they were like, a little bit off, and then they meet you at I don't know, event, and they talk to you, and then somehow like there's a shift in their day. You make this tiny shift that they can actually not understand, but it's just like, yeah, it just stays with them, and it makes the day a little bit more enjoyable, you know? And again, depending on the interaction, depending on how long you are interacting with people, that may be felt or maybe not felt necessarily. But there's definitely something that you are doing um, with your presence in people's energies. So what else? So what I'm also getting here is that people see you as somebody who is not necessarily very out there. So you might be somebody who, again, like this very much ties into the thing that I said about the mystery. So you might be somebody who is not like the most outgoing person in the room. You are maybe like more of the quiet one, or you just like, you're not talking every time. You are just like somebody who is only talking when they feel like really invited, or when they feel like, actually, it reminds me a little bit of projector in human design. I feel like you're not somebody who needs to be at the forefront, who needs to like talk a lot, who needs to like say the most interesting thing. You are just saying things when you feel like really called to, because there's something that you have to give to the room. Yeah, you're somebody who is just very thoughtful with what they say and what they put on the table, because it's always meaningful to you. So you do want to have this lasting impression. You just don't want to, talk for no reason. You always want to like give people something to either think, or um, or just valuable information, or something that they need to hear. And even when you are like small talking, I feel like you are the kind of person who's not good with small talk. You just would prefer to not talk at all before you're just like talking about the weather. But even in small talk conversations, I feel like you're definitely the person that is talking the least, but you're always giving something valuable to the communication. You're always giving something valuable to the conversation. And it feels like, yeah, you are just somebody who stirs up a lot of things within people. And this could be, positive or negative. I don't feel like you are necessarily so. you never want harm to people, but sometimes people are triggered by what you say because, it shatters something within their own perception. So, for example, if I'm walking through life with a certain belief that I always felt like is the right thing, so I always like, I never question that belief. And then I encounter you and you're saying something that just completely crashes that belief because I'm now seeing a different side. I'm now actually seeing a different perspective, and I actually have to question my own belief. And dependent on where the person is at in their life, it might be triggering. So it might feel uncomfortable for them, or it might feel like actually very, very nice and positive and beautiful. So obviously you can never like control how people feel about what you're giving, but whatever you are giving is very, very profound. There's something about you that is very, very profound and changes people. So yeah, I like your energy. So I feel like you're not necessarily the most outgoing, loudest person in the room, but people definitely like, remember you. They remember you because of the depth and the profoundness your presence has. And it's so interesting because I feel like a lot of people, when they first see you, they see like this lightheartedness, this like very light and playful vibe around you. But there's so much depth to you that they are not seeing if they are not talking to you. So I feel like your depth is something that makes you very unique. And as soon as they talk to you, understand actually your wisdom, they understand your depth. But first, when they see you, you just seem like almost a little bit like fairy-like, almost like this, yeah, very like light presence. And also mystery, as I said, like there's this mysterious vibe around you. And maybe that's why also what I said in the beginning, like with the two sides, I feel like there's this lightheartedness, this light and playful energy, but there's also this depth with you, which makes you a very, very unique and interesting person to be around and leaves people with a mark. There's like definitely this feeling of, oh, this person actually changed something, even if they don't think like that. Their energy feels their energy feels that kind of shift or change. So the next question I ask is, what do people, assume about your life based on your first impression? What do people assume about you and your life based on your first impression and your presence? Oh, the Queen of Inspiration, that's very beautiful. So there is a lot of confidence coming with you. So you definitely exude a certain confidence, and maybe people feel the first time they meet you, they feel like let me get some more on this actually before I'm going into it. Okay, let's see. I feel like people think that your life is pretty colorful, that there's a lot of joy in your life, that you are really enjoying. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. Okay, what I pulled for this question is one, the Queen of Inspiration. I pulled the Six of Inspiration, and I pulled the Page of Inspiration. So, what I feel like with this is that, first of all, again, your life feels very colorful. So, people might feel like that you had a lot, that you either have a lot of luck in life, or that you had a lot of luck in life. I feel like there's something about you that feels like people just feel like you are somebody who easily gets people's attentions with the Six of Inspiration. There's like success. The Six of Inspiration is about success. So I feel like they think that you are a very successful person, that you maybe are somebody who is who has maybe a lot of money, or somebody who is very successful in their job, or somebody who has a very successful relationship, who has a lot of friends. I feel like this is very much about you just being abundant. It feels like people think that you just, yeah, it's because of your playfulness in your lightheartedness. Oh, yeah, that's what I'm getting. People feel like you don't have anything you are worrying about. It almost seems like you're carefree. And because you are so carefree in your presence, people assume that you had it easy in life, or that you have a lot of success right now, which makes you very carefree. And with success, I mean a lot of safety, financial safety, or just a lot of fulfillment in terms of connections in your life. And people assume that you always had it easy in life, because of your lightheartedness, because of your playful energy. So this might not be necessarily true, and I actually feel this is actually not true because of your depth and what I said about you being very wise. I feel like actually wisdom and depth comes from challenge. And also with the first card that I pulled, which was opposition, I told you you have like two different sides within you that you have to balance, and that actually brings a lot of challenge into a person's life, because there are two parts that they have to really balance with each other and harmonize. But people only see, especially when they first meet you and they haven't talked so much to you, and they haven't like experienced your wisdom yet, they may feel like you always had it easy in life, or you don't have to worry about anything. You are cared for. You're cared for, and you are like, yeah, you you have it easy in life. That's what I'm hearing. So the next question I'm asking is, what do people think or feel about you but hold back from expressing? That's interesting. So what do people feel about you but hold back from expressing? Yeah, so what I'm getting with this, so I pulled the Three of Cups and I pulled the Muse of Materials. Something about you feels expensive. I don't know how to say it different, but there's something about you that just feels very expensive. It's almost like people see you as somebody who, mm, first of all, is very confident, but there is this like energy around you that just feels like you are very discerning of who you let in, and discerning of who you let into your inner circle. You're just very discerning with um, energy. I feel like you are somebody who actually cares. You are somebody who has worked a lot on your worth and your self-love. If maybe you have been on a self-love journey, you definitely feel as if people see that you are valuing yourself, and that's why they value you. And especially in this day and age, there are a lot of people who don't value themselves. And it's not that, for example, if you're going into a shop and there are like many rings, and there's like one ring that is very, very expensive, and it also looks very expensive. And people are very drawn to that ring because they feel like, oh, this is actually a very, very valuable ring. And um, I feel like people, when they see you, because you have so much worked on your inner self, and you're giving so much love to yourself, and you're valuing your time and energy so much, people see you as somebody who is very valuable, who is very valuable. And we are all, obviously, we are all like equally valuable. We are all equally valuable. but some people, they don't see themselves as equally valuable to you because they haven't worked on their self-worth as much. And those people see you as somebody who is very, valuable in their mind's eye. Yeah, they almost put you a little bit on a pedestal as if you were a little bit better than them, which is again not true, but they perceive you in that way, and obviously they wouldn't tell you. Um, they wouldn't tell you. It's not such a nice thing to really admit that they feel less than you. But the reason why they feel less than you is because they have they are not valuing themselves as much as you are valuing yourself. And obviously then they perceive people who worked on themselves as more valuable. It's just a mirror that the universe is reflecting back to them that they have to work on their self-worth. Um, but yeah, that's your energy. Very, very cool. So actually I want to close that reading with one oracle card for you. I'm going to read the oracle card. So your oracle card is the Cave, and it says in balance, knowing your shadows, connecting with the unconscious, controlling your impulses, being aware of your flaws. So what I'm getting with this oracle card is that because you have done so much work on yourself and you actually have gone deep within you, you have encountered your own shadows, you know you are not perfect because you're human, because you have dealt with those shadows already. People might see you as somebody who is very, very magnetic, because the more we are actually working on our inner selves, the more we are like friends with our inner shadows, the less we are trying to, come across in a certain way, or the less we are trying to, make people feel a certain way about us, because we are, the friends of our inner shadows. We have connected with ourselves. We know who we are, and we are not afraid of that. And what I see a lot with people that haven't done so much work on themselves is that they want other people to, validate them. They want other people to perceive them in a certain way. And by trying to force that, they are actually coming across either insecure or not as honest, or there's something off, especially when you are trying to hide a lot of your shadows. And because you are aware of your human self, because you're aware of your humanity, and that you have flaws, and that you have insecurities, and that you have, sides that might not be as pretty, because you're aware of them, and because you are compassionate with yourself, people don't feel like uncomfortable around you. People feel very comfortable around you because you feel comfortable around yourself. You have connected with your shadows already. So I feel like you're definitely somebody who has done a lot of shadow work. All in all, what I'm getting with this energy also, regarding the card you chose, the Queen of, or the Muse of Emotions. The Muse of Emotions is a very deep, watery person. So Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Usually those signs, they have to deal with a lot of emotions, or have to, balance their emotions very well in early childhood. And usually they are very emotionally mature later in life. Obviously, not everybody. But because you because you chose the Queen of Emotions, you definitely have mastered that kind of energy. You are definitely a master of your emotions. And that's why you have that very comforting vibe. That's why people feel very comfortable around you. And I feel like that's the main thing that people are taking away from encountering you, is that they felt very comfortable in your presence, and they see you as somebody very valuable, and they see you as somebody they like to actually, they enjoyed being in their presence. Um, and again, you definitely leave something that people think about or remember. And even if they cannot really point to something that particularly was standing out about you, they still take you with them. They still take something of your energy with them, and you are staying in people's thoughts in a very positive way. Yeah. I see you as somebody who is a little bit of a mystery to people, but still people really enjoy being around you. So I hope that was helpful. I hope you enjoyed hearing this, and I see you in my next one. I'm going to pile 2 now. Pile number 2, let's get into your reading. So pile number 2. What kind of energy do you imprint on a room when you walk in? Pile number 2, Mercury. Okay, so it makes a lot of sense that you actually chose the Muse of Voices, because voices are swords in tarot, and voices are talking about air, and air is about communication. Even actually, the Muse of Voices says it all, because what I pulled for you is Mercury. So you are definitely somebody who is very good in communicating, who is very, very expressive, who likes to talk, who likes to, share thoughts with people. You could be, I feel like you're very, very eloquent as well when it comes to communication. You could be like either like a Mercury in Gemini, a Mercury in Virgo, or could have like Virgo, Gemini placements. You're definitely very eloquent when it comes to communication. You know what to say. You know the word right. The right words to say to people. You're just somebody who people like to talk to. Um, yeah, there's definitely something about you speaking that stands out to people, and that leaves a mark. Um, yeah, that leaves a mark. So if people seeing you for the first time, definitely the way you are communicating, or like what you are saying is going to stick with them. And your communication tool is your most profound, uh, gift, let's say. Um, all right, let's see what stands out about you the most. They already said it. I feel like your communication, but let's get more on this. What stands out about you? We have the world. Mm, I feel like you're somebody who is very well traveled. You might be somebody who is traveling a lot at the moment, or you just have a lot of like cultural knowledge. I feel like a lot of people might feel drawn to you because the things that you are talking about are very, yeah, you seem just very well traveled. You seem just somebody who has a lot of knowledge about the world, who has, seen a lot, and who has a lot of wisdom because of that. And people just feel like attracted to that. They just want to have a bite of that. I see you as somebody who is just very, inspiring. Inspiring is the right word because people feel like yeah, they can almost like by interacting with you, by communicating with you, by being in your presence, they almost feel like more knowledgeable. They feel like they get a bite of the world. They feel like um they get out of their comfort zone in a way. And it's just a feeling that you might leave with them. But there's something about you that makes people want to get out of their comfort zone. That's what I'm hearing. There's definitely something about you that feels very, very expansive to people. Okay, let's see if we are getting more. Maybe you would just like to talk a lot about, the world, about things that have experienced. Maybe you are just a very good storyteller, I'm hearing as well. A good storyteller, somebody who just captures people's attention by telling a good story, telling a good story about your travels, or if you are not traveling a lot, or if you're not somebody who is traveling a lot, then this might be in a sense of you have seen a lot, and that might be not necessarily of the world, but you just maybe are somebody who feels like very comfortable around a lot of different people. So maybe you have seen a lot of different people, or you're friends with a lot of different people, or you're engaging with a lot of different people, and that's why your mindset is very expansive. That's why people feel like you are somebody who's very well like traveled, you know? That's what I'm getting here. Um, so how do people feel emotionally after meeting you, even if they don't realize it? I like this question. How do people feel about you? Um, how do people feel emotionally after meeting you, even if they don't realize it? Interesting that takes a while. Oh, it takes a while until I feel like it's almost like I see I see people leaving your presence, and it's almost hard to understand how they feel about it because there's so much like there's so much that it almost feels like you have impacted them quite a lot. And I see like, I see like all the parts like flying, and they almost need a little bit of time to gather themselves again, or like understand how they feel, or understand what happened. I feel like there's a lasting impression about you. And people like are almost a little bit like unsure. Not in a bad way, more in a positive way. And now, and it's interesting, now there are three cards coming out at the same time. So I feel like it takes people a bit to understand your impact on them, but as soon as they understand it quite well, let's say. Feel like, yeah, what I'm seeing here is that you are s steering. Mm, interesting. Yeah, it feels like when people are leaving your presence, they feel like they want more from life. It's almost like you are giving them a glimpse into potential, into what can be if they are going out of their comfort zone. And you're giving them a glimpse of, oh, there's so much more out there that I want to experience. Oh, there's so much more out there for me. Um, and it's almost people are feeling like a sort of drive, sort of feeling of they want to kind of step out of their own comfort zone and just experience more of what they could be, because I pulled the Two of Inspiration, and the Two of Inspiration is about having one foot in the old life, but also having a foot in the new life. So it's a transition phase. And if this card is coming out as a feeling, it's almost like you are taking a hand, you're giving them your hand, and you're almost like pulling them out a little bit of their comfort zone, so they get a little bit of an impression of what it feels to be out of their comfort zone. And they want to have more of that. They want to experience more of that. Because I also pulled the priestess, and usually I feel like, especially people who have been in their comfort zones for way too long and need a little bit of a push or need a little bit of an inspiration to actually act on something they have felt in themselves for a long time, but we're too scared to actually follow it, you are going to point that out. And obviously, this is not always comfortable for people, because your presence alone is letting them know, hey, you actually haven't acted on something that you could pursue that is actually very positive for you and that brings you into your potential. Um, it might also be a little bit uncomfortable, because people don't want to admit that they have stayed in their comfort zone for too long. So even if that first, or the feeling that they get from you leaving you, leaving your presence, isn't comfortable, it's still very, very positive. And it actually helps them grow. It helps them understand where they need to leave something behind and get courageous, step out of their comfort zones. That's what I'm feeling. It's really, really cool. You are really like igniting a flame within them. Um, okay. Then the next one is your archetypal vibe. So what archetype do you embody in people's eyes? What archetype do you embody in people's eyes? Okay, so what I'm getting with this here is that people are seeing that you have gone through some challenges. I feel like the archetypal energy that I'm getting is that you have gone through some hardships, but you are somebody who is actually turning that into gold. It's the energy that I'm getting is like an alchemist. Yeah, you are an alchemist. Oh, that's why I saw the book. I have this book, by the way. Maybe this is actually for you. I want to recommend this book to you. It's called Wayward from Amelia Hart. It's a novel about three witches, or three like women who have like an alchemy to them, like an alchemist energy. And with alchemy, I mean like transforming something into something else. And when we are talking about alchemy, we are like talking about you, like, you know, alchemizing your own hardships, your own darkness into gold. And I feel like you are definitely somebody who hasn't had it easy in life. I feel like you actually had a lot of challenges in the past, and a lot of hardships, but you are somebody who makes gold out of that. So I feel like people really experience your wisdom when they are around you. And it's almost like, yeah, I feel like you are the alchemist. You are like, if you are a woman, you are definitely seen as a little bit of a witch. And if you are a man, you are definitely seen as a little bit of a wizard. There's something about you that is very, very mysterious, but also like deep and transformative. So I feel like you are yeah, you're definitely somebody who has gone through a lot and who has taken their own hardships and made it into something beautiful, it made you even stronger. That's the vibe that I'm getting here with this. Okay, let's see. What do you trigger or awaken in others just by being you? I feel like I've already gone into that, but I'm going to pull another card on that. What do you trigger or awaken in others just by being you? That's what I said before. Like, I feel like you're triggering this desire to actually go out of their comfort zone, to want more for their lives, to really challenge themselves, to be a better version of themselves. Do you have another card for me on that? Oh, Three of Emotions. This is very similar to pile one, actually. So what I feel that you are triggering within people is definitely this desire to live a more joyful, a more full life, a more exciting life, and a more deep life as well. So I feel like there's like definitely this longing for depth or this longing for emotions that I'm getting here, that you are definitely triggering within them. Maybe because I also, I feel like you're somebody who is also very good in acknowledging your own shadows, understanding that you are human, understanding that you are, you have flaws, you are not perfect. And because you are so comfortable with your own shadows, with your own flaws, you are just radiating this very, very deep emotional, but also compassionate energy that people feel maybe a little bit triggered by, but I feel like in a very positive way. So I don't think it's actually necessarily something negative they feel. It's more that they just feel like, yeah, they just feel like they desire more from life when they are engaging with you. So something that I actually want to ask here is, so what do people assume about your life, personality, or story based on your presence? This could be true or not true, but it's just about, what do people think about you or assume about your life, just by being in your presence for the first time? What do people assume about you or your life? Okay, so the first thing that I'm getting here is that you are a hard worker, that you're definitely somebody who is very driven, who wants to achieve a lot, like very high achiever energy I get here. What else, Spirit? What else? Filming a part two. Yeah, a lot of, I see somebody who is very determined, very strong-willed, very hardworking, and who is very hardworking, but also is not. So the vibe with what I'm getting here is you are somebody who, yeah, who is changing a lot. I feel like you're very quick changing. So, for example, somebody sees you for the first time and then they see you next time, and it could be almost like you are giving totally different vibes. It's almost like you are very, very good in transforming yourself, and it's a very, very positive transformation. So I feel like people are very, very impressed by how fast you are transforming, um, much how much you are transforming, how many different kind of aspects you have to yourself. So you're very multifaceted, I feel. Um, and there's something about you that just feels like you are like busy. You are a lot, like there's a lot of busyness in your life, and but it's not a negative busyness. It's just like that you have a lot of things you are like, putting your energy into, and it seems like people are very appreciative of your presence because they know how much things you have going on. It's almost like they know that if you give them that time, it's very valuable because you have a lot of things going on and you're not sharing your time with everybody. You're very discerning about that. They really appreciate it if you do and when you do. And there's something about you that just like seems very, you're just very good in transforming yourself. So maybe people get a certain impression when they see you the first time, and then the second time they feel like totally different. And then the third time again, they feel totally different. So there's a lot of like change here. And that also ties in very well with the witch part that I was talking about, because usually people who have a lot of like, witch energy or alchemist energy, they are very good in transforming themselves into different things depending on what makes the most sense right now. It's not that you are like, you are not you are putting on a mask. It's just like that all parts of you are there, and depending on the energy that you have to be in right now, um you're just switching into that very, very easily, very, very fast, versus other people have a lot of have a hard time doing that because they are so identified with only one part of them. But for you, it's very easy to actually shapeshift, change. I get also Gemini vibes here, or just like reflector vibes in human design. These are the chameleons, a lot of different sides to you, very interesting people who just shapeshift a lot, and who are just very good in putting different sides of themselves out there, dependent on the situation, dependent on the energy. And it's all you. There's no fake you, it's all you, but it's going to be so different every time they meet you, and it's a little bit of a mystery again, and it's a little bit of a but it's very exciting mystery as well, because they never know what they get next, when they see you. It's very interesting vibe. But they definitely see you as somebody who is working a lot, who is hardworking, and who is very, very driven and determined and committed to what they feel is important, or what you feel is important to you. All right, that's beautiful. So what else do we have here? That's actually an interesting question. What do people think or feel about you but hold back from expressing? So what I'm getting immediately with this is that you have a big community. So people feel like you are somebody who is getting along with a lot of, again, there's like this feeling of that you're getting along with a lot of people, that you might have a lot of people. Mm, oh, that's what I'm getting. You are It's almost like people feel that you're a little bit of a famous person, or you have actually like some fame energy within you. So that means that people think that you are somebody who has a lot of people who admire you, who has a lot of fans, even if you are, for example, not famous, or you don't have like a big social media community or presence, doesn't matter. People feel like you are somebody who can be easily famous, because they think that there are a lot of people who are admiring you, who are excited about being around you, who want to be in your presence. Um, the ten of emotions talks about like, like feeling fulfilled. But what I'm seeing here, do you see like this star here, or this like beautiful mandala, whatever it is. And then there are all these people who are like giving their energy to this mandala. So I feel like this is you, and people are just like cheering you on, or like being very excited about what you're doing, what you're up to. You can have a lot of like people who admire you from the distance, who are just maybe not saying it, but they actually like really, feel that. And again, this is about them not saying it. So I feel like you're almost like a little bit of of a star to them, or like somebody who is in the spotlight, and they might see you as somebody who has a lot of admirers, who has a lot of fans, and who is, yeah, just very well liked in your community. Maybe they feel like you have a big network or a lot of friends or just a lot of people around you who like you and who love you. That's very, very nice. But again, this is just an assumption on of what they see when they are in your presence for the first time. This could be true, this could be not true, but that's just what they see when they see you for the first time. So for the last part, I'm actually pulling, oops, an oracle card for you. For the last part, I'm going to pull an oracle card for you, pile 2. That's beautiful. Okay. So what I'm getting with this is that people feel like you're doing everything with your full heart. Yeah, your oracle card is the heart. Find out what sets your soul on fire. The heart says, always remember what's essential and sacred. It is easy for the path to become clouded with other people's words and desires, so you forget what makes you feel alive. The heart on fire is a powerful sign that reminds you to look inside yourself again. Find what sets your soul on fire and what makes you burst into a dance and a smile when no one sees you. And align with that feeling. You're not too late and you're not too old. There's time and opportunity as long as your heart keeps beating. Explore a new hobby, a new career, a new job, a new talent, a new love. And if necessary, a new life. But please don't let your heart lose its fire. So I feel like this is very much talking about, how people perceive you in general. I feel like you are perceived by people who somebody who is really following their heart, who does everything that they desire with the most passion. I feel like you are very passionate about your job, or there's something in your life that you feel a lot of passion for. And people see that with you, people feel that with you, and they're actually inspired by your passion. They are actually inspired because they see you really doing well for yourself with something that is so dear to your heart. And actually, that's something very, very rare. And it's something that people find very, very attractive about you. So there's definitely this feeling of your heart is burning, you are following your passions, and people feel very inspired by that. So keep that up. And I hope you like this reading. I hope it resonated with you. Obviously, not all of the messages are going to resonate perfectly, depending on certain things, but these readings are collective. I'm reading for a big group. So yeah, but I hope it was very helpful for you. Please leave a heart in the comments if you took pile, or just let me know in the comments which pile you actually chose. And yeah, without further ado, I'm going into pile 3, and I see you in my next video. All right, so now we are getting into pile 3, my loves. Let's see, pile 3. What is your first impression on people when you walk into a room? How do they feel about you? The Emperor. Interesting. Okay, let me get one more card on this. I'm also pulling from my astrology deck. Interesting. The Emperor and the Empress. Very balanced energy I'm getting here. Very balanced, very harmonious. Okay, getting Libra energy, maybe. Let's see what from my astrology deck. What's the vibe that pile 3 is expressing immediately when they are entering a room. Interesting. I pulled the conjunction card, which is about balance, connections. So I feel like there's something very feminine about you, are very well balanced. Your masculine energy and your feminine energy are very well balanced. And also there's something very beautiful about you. Yeah, I feel like you're somebody who is very beautiful or just very, yeah, just seems very like harmonious. You are just giving people a lot of, um, you're just making people feel very calm. That's what I'm seeing here. Um, I'm also getting like pink hair now. I'm seeing a lot of pink here. So you don't have to have pink hair, don't worry. But there's almost like, yeah, I feel like if you would be some sort of, avatar or like some sort of like fantasy character, you would definitely have like pink hair. You have a lot of like feminine energy. Um, you're giving people like a sense of safety around you. There's calmness. There is maybe you're also somebody who is into, art, music, maybe also the way you are dressing is very feminine, flowy. Um, maybe you're somebody who's into music, or there's something about you that feels very eloquent and very almost a yeah, very flowy. I just see you floating around the room, like flowing. Um, maybe you have, yeah, maybe you have something about you that is very attractive, but I'm hearing like you are an eye candy. I hear eye candy actually. I hear eye candy. Yeah, you're just somebody who is very, very appealing to people's eyes. Um, so maybe people perceive you as very soft the moment they see you because you have a lot of that feminine presence. Maybe you are Cancer rising or like Pisces rising. I'm getting even Scorpio rising, but Scorpio is a bit intense. It's interesting because you chose the muse of inspiration. Maybe you have actually, maybe that's just the first impression. Maybe there's something more fiery to you. Let's see what the cards are revealing. But that's just the first impression that I get from you. It's just very feminine, very flowy, very yeah, appealing to the eye is coming to mind. Um, so what stands out about you? How are you standing out from the crowd? I mean, that's already pretty much. I mean, you stand out because you are so like elegant. I'm also hearing. But let's see. Yeah. Got the fear four of materials. And do you see her? There's like this sensuality to her. You are just like very, very seductive as well. Um, the rose. But also, I feel like there's so much more to you that people don't really see the first time they meet you or the first time they see you. They just see your like beauty, they see your sensuality, they see your yeah, sensuality, they see your feminine power. But then also there's something about you that and it's so interesting because I get a lot of the same message in the 3 piles. I think you are very cool people who are like watching these videos of mine. Um, I got the Tower card, and I almost feel like it's not that people are shocked by you. Or maybe that's actually what it is. They are shocked, but it's just more like positively shocked. How can somebody embody so much femininity, so much beauty? I feel like they are shocked a little bit about how beautiful or how feminine or how seductive you are. Yeah. Okay. Let's see what else we got here. So, how do people emotionally feel after meeting you? How do people emotionally feel after meeting you? So, what is staying with them after being in your presence? How do people feel? And I actually also want to kind of understand, because I feel like this very feminine vibe is when they don't even have to talk to you. And I want to know how they feel when they have talked to you, because I feel like there's a lot of depth to you. Yes. Got the Knight of Voices. What I'm getting here is like unicorn vibe. There's something so unique about you. Pulled the Five of Voices, and this is a very interesting card because there are like, this is reminding me of something that I said in my last videos. All of these people are like looking straight forward, but there's this one person on the side. I feel like maybe when people walk into a room, maybe you're just like a little bit of the person that is standing outside, or you're just somebody who doesn't like really care so much about being the center of attention, but then people can't help but giving you their attention. It's almost as if, yeah, you're not trying to actually get anybody's attention, but it just happens to be on you because you're just so unique in the way you are like. And I feel like, especially with you, Pal 3, your presence, you just being there, standing there, says more than 1,000 words. I feel like you don't even have to open your mouth. People are just like amazed by you. That's what I'm getting here. I feel like yeah, people are just amazed by you, and you're just like such you're just flying high. I'm hearing you're flying high. You're flying high in the clouds. Also, what I'm getting here is maybe people think that you're a little bit like otherworldly. Yeah, and this will very much ties in with what I said about like your ascendant. Maybe you have actually a Pisces ascendant or Cancer ascendant, because these people are very emotionally in tune, and they love to, be a little bit in their own world. I feel like you're somebody who's a little bit in their own world, and people might see that because you are like very much in your head, but not in a negative way. It's like almost like you just created this, like, you just created this fantasy world for yourself where you are just existing and nobody's harming you there. Maybe this is actually something that you had to actually develop in your early childhood, or that you came in as a soul with. There's something about you being very, very in connected with the other realms. I see you as somebody who's very, yeah, spiritual, is very feminine, but you just have a big, big fantasy world. I think yeah, you could easily be somebody who is connected to the arts. Maybe you're a musician, maybe you're drawing, maybe you're somebody who is like even, doing something that is connected to the spiritual realm, like an astrologer, tarot reader. Maybe you're a tarot reader yourself, or maybe you're just like mm, very intuitive. And I feel like that's part of your purpose here on Earth. Interesting, because I'm getting so much more information with this pile. But I think it's just your presence. There's so much in your presence. There's so much, yeah. Again, there's this like your presence says more than 1,000 words can. Um, I'm getting so much information about this file. Um, but it's interesting because it's just like your presence that gives so much. There's so much richness in your presence. Um, what else? Yeah, how do people feel emotionally after meeting you? How do people feel emotionally after meeting you? How do they feel? Oh, okay. Muse of inspiration. A lot of people feel very passionate about you, I have to say. I'm thinking you are turning heads. There's something, yeah, and I said it before, like you're very beautiful. I think you are attracting a lot of attention to you without even wanting it, as I said. And people feel very passionate about you. There's something that you are sparking within in them that is a fire. And I think actually what I'm the way the muse of inspiration is talking about fire energy, and I get that people you are like really igniting people's fire, and I think you are getting actually especially a lot of like attention from men, I have to say. Um, yeah, there is desire. You are like very desired. You are very desired as a person. A lot of heads turning, yeah. Interesting. And I see a lot of people turning their head. And also women, like there's something about your presence. It's not only your beauty, but there's something about you that feels so rich and so artsy and so magical. Let me check the other questions that I wanted to do. Yeah, exactly. What archetype would people um, name you as? Archetype you embody in people's eyes when they first see you. Archetype pile 3 embodies. People see them. Also now like 9 of materials. Yeah. So interesting. There's something very, very beautiful about you. Do you see the woman? She has this rose inside her, and what's happening is like she's almost like spreading these roses around her. So I feel like maybe you also are somebody who's wearing a very beautiful that's very suitable to you, like a very beautiful perfume, or there's something about your scent as well. That's what I'm getting now. Mm, and you are like spreading a lot of beauty and a lot of joy and a lot of excitement. And yeah, again, there's something about you that cannot be described in words. I feel like there are not a lot of words need to be spoken. And that doesn't mean, I don't mean at all that there's nothing more to you than your beauty. It's just that your presence speaks for itself. You don't have to be loud in order to draw attention to you. People find you interesting. People find you very unique just by being there, just by being you, just by existing. I'm hearing your existence is just making people feel like so warm around their hearts. There's a certain warmth that they feel, um, and you're just a flower that is like blooming in their eyes. Um, Also, you know how she radiates this beautiful energy. There's so much about her. It's like even I'm in awe. Yeah, I feel like people are in awe of your energy, your presence. I feel like you're also a very joyful person, or you just seem very optimistic. very beautiful, very, yeah, it's just like hard to describe, hard to put into words. I'm sorry if I'm like repeating the same things over and over again, but that's just what I'm hearing here. So, what do you trigger and awaken in others just by being you? What do you trigger or awaken in others just by being you? Pile three. A lot of inspiration, eight of inspiration. Okay, so what I'm getting with this is that you are somebody who people find, again, very attractive, but they feel also this passion for um, being themselves. And because I said in the beginning, I think you are very unique in the way you are being. Again, there's this word being. You don't have, even have to say anything. People just know that you are who you are and that you are just like being unapologetically yourself. And that's what sparks a lot of excitement in people's energy. And they almost it's like, you're just standing out of the crowd because you have a certain, you know, it's just like a silly example, but you get what I'm saying with this. You maybe are just somebody who wears a unique brand that nobody else has ever like seen. For example, you have like a purse that is very unique to you. It's maybe not a designer purse at all. Maybe it's just something that really fits your vibe. And people can really see that. So it seems like so harmonious when people see you because they know, oh, actually, yeah, that purse totally fits to pile three, or the kind of drink you are having, it totally fits your vibe. So there's something about you that seems like so um aligned. Yeah, aligned is the right word. And people feel so excited to actually express themselves uniquely by seeing you, and they maybe ask you about the perfume you are wearing, or the purse you're wearing, or the brand you are wearing. There's something about you that feels so unique. Or even if you, for example, if you're an artist or if you are a musician and people see your art, they almost feel like, obviously that's pile three's work, obviously that's pile three's music. The music is so fitting to their style or so fitting to their presence. It seems also very well rounded. There's so much alignment in what you are doing. Um, and oh my God, I just saw my dog lying there. And yeah, it's so effortless. That's what it's so effortless. That's why people are so fascinated by you because it's so effortless. It's almost like you're stumbling into things and it seems so aligned. You make it seem so easy. You make it seem so easy. People see you and they are like, of course she's wearing those shoes. Of course she's like playing that music because it fits so to her character. There's something about you that is so well balanced, so yeah, so harmonious. Interesting. So the next question I'm asking is what do I even now I'm sensing like you could even be like a Libra rising as well. Like Libra energy, I'm feeling like Libra energy, I'm feeling like water energy. Um Something very beautiful, feminine again. So what do people assume about you, seeing you, being in your presence for the first time? What do people assume about you or assume about your life? What do people assume about your life by just being in your presence for the first time? What do people assume about your life? What do people assume? The Night of Inspiration. Okay, the Night of Inspiration is a lot about fire, celebration. I feel like people think you are somebody. So again, I'm so torn. I'm so drawn to the hair of the horse. So maybe you have your beautiful hair, but there's something about you that feels golden also. Because there's a lot of gold in this card, and there's this like firework. So I feel like people think that you are celebrating a lot, that you are um, somebody who is, or celebrated, that you are somebody who is celebrated in your uh, closer connection. Maybe it feels like people really want to be friends with you. There's something about you that is very, very exciting. What do people assume about pile three's life? Queen of Materials. Okay. So what I'm also getting with this is that you might be somebody who, at least like people think that about you, that you have either a lot of money, or you are somebody who just knows how to attract money to you. There's something about being financially supported. Yeah, it's almost like you don't have to worry about stuff, about financials. I'm seeing a garden here. So people might think that you are somebody who is very much in nature, or is very much drawn to nature. Um, could even be that people think that you are um, like a lot by yourself in nature. I'm seeing you sitting in your garden, or sitting on a mm, mountain, or there's a lot of like calmness and serenity to you. I feel like people think that you are definitely somebody who um, takes a lot of care of themselves, takes yeah, self-love is big in your day. I feel like you are somebody who's surrounded by flowers, who is very, very, very I'm also getting Taurus energies here. Wow. Okay, we have all the Venus-like signs, Taurus, Libra, and then also the water signs. Yeah, so maybe you have a lot of water and energy in your chart, and or you have Libra, Taurus in your chart in a very present way. There's definitely something about you being very, very connected to nature, connected to flowers. I see so many flowers in your reading. So maybe you could actually, something that I'm doing, for example, at the moment is I'm always buying myself like flowers on Fridays. At least that's something that I'm planning to do, because it just gives me so much fulfillment to have flowers around me. And maybe you're somebody like that, or you have like a big garden with flowers, and people see you as somebody who would do that for themselves. People see you as somebody who is very caring about their environment, who wants to have a lot of beauty in their environment. I feel like people see you as somebody who is very attracted to aesthetics, who wants to have a lot of beautiful things in their environment, and who also takes a lot of pride in that, and who who just loves to be around beautiful things. That's what I'm seeing here. That's what people assume about your life. Um, that's interesting. What do people think or feel about you but hold back from expressing? What do people think or feel about you but hold back from expressing? What do people think or feel about you but hold back from expressing? Actually, I think people want to hide how much they see you as beautiful, or how impressed they are by you, how inspired they are, because it almost feels a little bit overwhelming to themselves, especially if they don't know you for a long time. And people feel so much warmth towards you, and they're almost overwhelmed by their own feelings. And I feel like or overwhelmed by how much you impress them, that they feel a little bit hesitant to share it because they are like we barely know each other. How can I feel so much about this person? Or how can I feel so positive about this person, even if I'm not knowing a lot? And now the last question, I'm actually pulling oracle cards. What gift or lesson do people receive from you simply by encountering your energy? And I'm going to pull an oracle card from that for that. What gift do people receive from you by just simply encountering your energy? What gift or lesson? Oh, I see the squirrel. I pulled the squirrel and I'm going to read that for you. I think it's the spirit of courage, the squirrel. Let's see. The spirit of courage. If you are afraid, then do it with fear. The spirit of the squirrel calls for courage. Listen to your intuition, move with caution, but don't let fear freeze you. Fear is a great master, so be thankful for the warnings it sends you, but always lead with the bravery of your heart. If you have been dwelling in monotony, a new adventure is exactly what you need to turn ordinary into extraordinary. It may be a trip, a new job, or even a new hobby, but move away from routine and dare to try something new. It doesn't need to be something big. Any little change you bring into your life can spark a little joy in your soul. Great treasures await you. Confidently go after the magic you deserve. But don't let excitement cloud your reasoning. Don't act on impulse and put yourself into dangerous situations. Lead with an adventurous heart but a cautious mind. Feeling courageous, feeling adventurous, experiencing excitement, being curious, daring. I feel like the gift you are giving people is to try something new. I feel like you are giving people the gift of trying something new, of reinventing themselves and letting go of all the outdated ideas that they have about themselves, of letting go of their like, you know, maybe because again, you are somebody who's standing out very easily. You have like a very authentic energy. I feel like people want to be authentic. If they are encountering you, what they will think about is how authentic you were, and how much your outside presence is actually aligning with who you are as a person. And I feel like people are very inspired by that, and they actually want the same for them. They also want to dress like how they feel, and they want to like be as authentic as you are, and that's actually the gift that you are giving. You are inspiring them to do something different, to do something new, to really explore um, different sides of themselves, and like being playful. I'm hearing being playful with the way they dress, being playful with the way they are presenting themselves. I feel like you are somebody who is giving people this like energy to do something different and to present themselves in the most authentic ways possible. So you maybe hear a lot of people, maybe women, like complimenting you on the way you dress. And then, you see them maybe like wanting to know where you got that dress from or that pants from or something like that. Maybe that's something that you are encountering a lot. And when it comes to men, I feel like yeah, you're just somebody who is also inspiring them to be more of their authentic selves, and they probably feel a lot of desire around you or feel like very drawn to you in general. You're definitely very magnetic. You're drawing a lot of people into your presence, but I feel like you're also very discerning, and you know that you're not letting anybody just like have a piece of you. I'm hearing like Britney Spears piece of how does pieces? I don't know the song. piece of me. Yeah. I feel like in the past, maybe you have struggled with that because a lot of people were drawn to you. But now I feel like you have really good boundaries for yourself. You have a lot of good boundaries for yourself, and people know that they cannot walk over you. And I feel like you're very protected by spirit. I feel like you are very protected by spirit, and only the most high, the highest energy can really get to you, you know. Um, People, if they don't have good intentions with you, they are not going to be granted access to you. That's what I'm hearing. And I feel like that's something that you have developed over time. It's nothing that you have had from the beginning on. I feel like you had to work on that boundary. But it's definitely I feel like, yeah, I feel like people are very drawn to you, but they also know that they cannot just take from you. They cannot take just a piece of you, and they very much respect you. And again, there's this like, you don't even have to say a lot. You don't even have to like clearly state your boundaries. People just feel your boundaries, and they know that they cannot overstep them. And again, I think the gift that you are giving people is that they find it very inspiring how authentic you are, and they are actually excited to, you know, play with that as well, and to align their outside expression also more with their inner expression or with their soul. Um, but what a lot of people don't know actually is that to come to that point of being so aligned, you actually have to know yourself on a deep level, and you have to go very deep with yourself. And I feel like that's what you have done in the past. You know yourself on a very deep level, and that's why you also are somebody who is very effortlessly expressing yourself. Or maybe you have actually what I'm also getting with some of you, maybe that's something that just felt like very easy for you from the beginning on. Maybe you've always been like that, and I think maybe that's something that you actually mastered in past life. Maybe you mastered that to an extent that now you come into this life and you just, you know, you're not going with the stream, you're going against the stream, but the stream that you are going on is so much cooler than the mainstream. So people are just like, how does she do that? That she always finds the most exciting, you know, stream for herself. That's what I'm getting. Or the most beautiful, like, I don't know, piece of art or the most beautiful piece of clothing. And it just matches her energy so very well. That's what I'm seeing here. I hope this makes sense, pile three. I know it was a little bit all over the place, this reading, but yeah, that's that. I hope you enjoyed this reading. Give me a rose in the comments if you chose pile three, or just let me know in the comments if you chose pile three. And also let me know how it resonated. And yeah, that's it for today, my loves. I hope you enjoyed it, and I see you in my next video. Bye, loves.